The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits.
What's happening, OctoFam? We're going to take a look at one that when I first heard the name of it, I was like, man, it's too in your face. It's a little bit too cheesy for me, so I just stepped out and never looked it up. I knew it'd be an ESG green play, but I was like, there's so many, I'm so overloaded. I just never really looked it up. I finally looked it up. It's still been on my watch list, but I finally dove in after I did a little bit of investigating. I'm going to let you know why. It's called Decarbonization Plus Acquisition Corporation, DCRB. First looking at the team, you're like, okay, it's pretty good. It's, some investment dudes. I didn't get any big name things to tie with them, though. Nothing with GM, nothing like that. Their target, though, however, is sectors that may advance the objectives and global decarbonization. This includes the energy, agriculture, could be cool, industrials, transportation, of course, and commercial and residential sectors. We believe these areas of focus represent a favorable and highly fragmented market opportunity to consummate a business combination. All right, kind of standard run of the mill, but I like kind of the agriculture. I would like another hydroponic play, something like that, like indoor planting and stuff like that. This is the lead dude here. I'm not going to go over it too much, diving into their past, but like I said, they're good, but it's just like nothing from GM, nothing from Tesla, nothing like that. Good guys. They're running basically a fund called the Riverstone. It's called Riverstone Fund, and they invest in a lot of energy, let's call it. Mostly energy is like oil, gas, stuff like that. As we found out a lot, like the SBE plays, ChargePoint, most of those oil and gas guys are pivoting and going to ESG. Well, that's what this guy did out the gate. All right, so everything's already split. I mean, this has been out for a handful of months now. Credit Suisse is running this one. You got a pretty big MERS too. I think it's 300 million. So that's fine. I honestly wish it would be closer to 2 because you can always get more pipe if we find out. But whatever, 3 we'll totally take it. You'll get a lot of attention. So some folks were thinking and guesstimating about this company right here called FreeWire. Why? Because Riverstone, company these guys run, latest press release was about them. It said FreeWire Technology secures $50 million in Series C funding round to scale ultra-fast EV charging infrastructure. Okay, so look at that. Looks sweet to me. Right away, I'm like, yeah, I'll invest in that. Looks rad. Further investigating into this, though, I just don't think it's big enough. You never know, because a lot of these SPACs that are doing like, 4 or 5 year projections out, it's then worth it. It still could be FreeWire, and I'm totally cool if it is. It's just not as big as I was hoping it is in its lifespan of its business, which is kind of fine, but I don't know. Do people actually look at the numbers? Or are they just gonna look how cool the charging looks? I think this might be the coolest looking charging station. You got the big LED or RGB lights on the side, and then you got the big old screen in the middle. I personally think it's one of the coolest ones. Looks cool, too small. FreeWire has deployed over 200 battery integrated chargers with Fortune 100 companies. That's great. Commercial customers, fleets, retail locations, and gas stations. The company intends to deploy more than 2,500, though, ultra-fast charging stations by 2025. It's kind of laying it out. That sounds just like a SPAC target already. At least a lot of SPACs, though, I mean, they haven't even deployed 0. Like, they have 0 cars running. They've at least done 200. 200 seems low, but it's still better than 0, right? And then they're saying by 2025, we'll have about 2,500. So again, this is definitely no charge point. But I wouldn't mind a baby brother that's got a lower amount of shares that can run a little bit easier. Maybe he'll run parallel with it. You never know. This round that just happened brings the 6-year-old company total venture funding to nearly $100 million, which again seems kind of small, right? Because I'm looking at it like if they had $300 million, they're going to come into this. How much percent are we going to own of this? But again, there's that. Like maybe they'll come out and we own like 35% of the company. All right, I'll take that. I'll take this one for sure. I just wanted to dive in a little bit more. So it was led by Riverstone, but also these bros are in it too. Who's these bros? They're called the Energy Innovation Capital. So it wasn't just Riverstone and the guys doing this SPAC that funded this last round for this charging company. So I couldn't find a lot of cool targets with the Riverstone guys, like I said, it's mostly just like gas, energy, power lines. It's not cool stuff at all, and I think a lot of it would even work whatsoever in target base. So what I did is I dove in to the Energy Innovation Capital, the other ones that were helping front run this thing. And these guys have some pretty interesting stuff that I would love to see comes back. The first one coming up is Protecting the Skies through a company called Spear. Cool name. Our custom aero battery systems power defense technologies that protect America and her allies. So you've got a lot going on in that sentence, but we've got batteries, but not really for electronic vehicles per se that we're used to. This is for like auto flying drones and stuff, like these cool planes. But then check this out below. It's not just that. Spear was pleased to receive the United States Representative Vicki Harrelson on July 7, 2020 at our Grandview facility to discuss innovative ways. So what do we get now? This is more of like a government kind of funded contract you won for electronic vehicle batteries. They're saying they got the air, airplanes, ground, and sea. So they even do boats and stuff, like big old ships. Spear offers safe, high-performance energy solutions and storage systems for the world's most demanding marine, industrial, and defense applications. See what that is? It looks like a fighter jet to me. I don't know what this four-wheeler thing is, but it's got that big old brush guard on the front and stuff. I was like, dude, I've been saying that for a long time. I want a side-by-side four-wheeler that's electric. I can't imagine how fun those things are and ripping off the line. Holy Toledo. Just be so fun. Then you've also got like the transportation movers for airplanes. They have battery systems set up for them. I think that'd be a cool target. Take that one. But then I saw this one. I was like, this one seems cool. This one's called Ocean Aero, oceanaero.com. It's like a self-driving submarine thing that can do all sorts of stuff. And it's super cool looking, and I want to be inside of it. Advanced technology for superior intelligence. The Triton is the world's first and only auto-driving, environmentally powered ocean vehicle that both sails and submerges for long-range, persistent ocean observation and data collection missions. How cool is that? You ain't got to send 6 Marines out to go get some recon. You can just send this thing out. If you see on top, this is sailing. So it can use the wind to take it places too. So it's got also in it, it's got electronic vehicle batteries. So maybe this first company, Spear, batteries are in this Ocean Aero thing. Sweet. So if there's some wind, they want to be up top, they can just put the big old camouflage sails out. It's super awesome. Above and below, the vehicle can submerge up to 200 meters to perform subsurface data collection, avoid harsh surface conditions, avoid detection. 5+ knots on the surface, 2+ knots subsurface. For this, they're saying defense and security applications, research applications, they're showing whales, and commercial applications. So if you got a big oil rigger out in the sea and you want to go look at the pillars or pipes and want to make sure they're legit, you can fly that thing around and it's got cameras on it and it'll observe it real time. How cool is that? You can probably sit there on a control panel on your desktop and play it. Pretty neat. Investors, get this. All right, Marine. Middle one, Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin. Third is Energy Innovative Capital. That's the bros we were talking about. They're saying the versatile and they got endurance, and then the auto driving thing is the really neat one. So you can be like, set it in X location and say, go to the Bahamas, and it'll just get there. That's insane to me. It can track through the ocean and all that. I would love to just fly it and like get a view of it like in the Caribbean or something and just be rad. I'd like to be in it though too. That'd be fun. I think so. Other SPACs I think that could take this. When I saw Lockheed Martin, I was like, DFNS. DFNS has a lot of Lockheed Martin, and maybe PIPP might work for this one. But regardless, something like in these two realms I think would work well. Maybe, and with SPACs, remember, you could do whatever deal you want. So they could even take Spear and the Ocean Aero together and combine them and then bring them to market via SPAC. That'd be a home run if you ask me. I'll take that. Right? Yeah, but is it worth the buy, Meow? Well, only you can decide that, but I'm going to help guide you a little bit. bring up the charts. Where did this start? About 10.50, but recently anything decent's around $12. This has been as high as like $14.30 though, which is huge for a non-LOI SPAC. Right now, charting wise, it looks like a good entry for sure. You see this line straight across, $12.49. I like the entry right here. Of course, remember it's SPAC, so you are protected, but it can still go back down if market crashes down to $10. But risk to reward on this, if we get something slightly cool like the targets we're talking about, I think we'd be good. How would we not multiply? That's my question. Take a look at the warrants, the wants. These have been almost $4, and then the market started going. Because the market was way too high. Unannounced LOI warrants should not be $4. Okay, I don't care. Right now, they're sitting at like 290. You know, it's still pretty high, but the optical floor that these have been on is like $1.60. So I don't really see these going down to like 50 cents or 40 cents ever, but still just realize you can get your money cut in half on these, where the other ones not near as much. So what do you think? Are you guys already in this one? Any other targets or any more information that's maybe connecting the charging stations to them? Do you think that would make sense fiscally though? With it being so small, or do you think they're just going to do like here and do 2025 estimations? I just still don't even see it. Like they would still have to value this thing at billion plus. Even with 2,500 ultra-fast stations, that just doesn't seem like a lot. I don't know. The other cool thing that this FreeWire does, though, is they do have a mobile charging station. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't put a picture up, but you can take a look at their website. If you come down to mine in the description, click on that, I'll go to it. But it's like it looks like a generator, and a box looks just like that. It's green and cool. But you could take it places. So, like, for instance, if you're going to go out to a hunting cabin of yours or your lake cabin, and you want to be able to charge your vehicle while you're out there, but you don't have charging infrastructure, you could charge that box and then carry that box out with you to your property at your lake cabin, you know, for the summer or whatever. You know, so I think that plays kind of cool, and who knows, they could end up having a massive contract just with those portable electronic vehicle charging for the government or something, for the police or whatever. I don't know. Pretty neat. If you haven't subscribed, please do it. If you haven't joined our Patreon, do that too. We're talking about this stuff way before I get these videos out, getting a lot better entries. We'll see you out there tomorrow. I got a ton of news to go over. It's going to be great. Thank you. Have a good rest of the weekend.
Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.